little quiet, little city. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm enjoying my time here. Beautiful little city, so yeah, it's good.
And then what was your first impressions of Dennis Gates?
I mean, he's a great man. I mean, I don't just say that, because I'm very kind of clear cut. I see through a lot of things. Or I feel like I do anyway. But I mean, sometimes I can't even work him out. At times I'm like, is he joking or is he serious? But sit back and observing him, he cares more about the content of your character, and wanting to win than necessarily the result, because he feels like that if he builds that will manifest a good result, through the team. So yeah, he's one of the best guys, coaches I've had.
And then what was his relationship like with you throughout his process of recruiting you here?
Well, I didn't know whether I was going to be on another team, because I had obviously the freak injury, and I didn't know whether I was going to be able to play again, because I had lost movement in my left side of my body for about 3 weeks straight, and I was in hospital. So I just didn't know what the future was going to hold. But obviously, as I was recovering and I was playing a little bit more, like in practice, and the West Virginia staff was brilliant in getting me back. I didn't really want to leave, but obviously the new coaching staff influx had to come, and I was just like, I'm probably gonna have to go back home. I'm not good enough to play in the U.S. But like, especially having an inhabitant of like with my body. So, but he was just like, look, you have a role here. You can have a role here. So I just seized it. Just took it. But it was mainly Coach Smith-Peters along with Dennis Gates, and I just said, look, I'll give you all I have, one more year.
How have they worked on you throughout that recovery process of getting back to full strength?
Well, I go to the medical room all the time, getting checkups for different things, scans, various things to do with, hand-eye coordination stuff, and CP has been great, the training staff's been great, but West Virginia helped me tremendously in recovering and getting to a point where I was stable, where I felt stable. I've had a few scares, because obviously with my seizures that I endured 3 seizures off a freak injury. So yeah, I feel pretty much back to normal.
If you feel comfortable, can you walk me through how you feel confident still playing on the court, working through
well,
this?
I had gone pretty much 6 to 8 months without even picking up a ball. Yeah, it was pretty scary, but I had to keep quiet, just for confidentiality reasons at West Virginia, so it was never a story that was open to the public. This is the first time I'm talking about it, or feel comfortable talking about it, but I don't want to use it as like a caveat to be like, I'm still not, like, I feel good, I think it was just a freak accident. I landed on my head in practice, and yeah, I just didn't feel the same. I wanted to come back during conference play on the Big 12, but I mean, you can't just. I felt like I couldn't have contributed at all. I just wasn't in a space to do it, and I was really defeated after that injury. So yeah, I kind of ruled myself out.
And then you mentioned you felt defeated after the injury. Can you walk me through the mental journey of getting back?
Man, it was a lot of prayer, reading the word, like getting back to my faith and what I believed in, and trying to pray through it, trying to pray forward. Yeah, it was difficult, because obviously I obviously struggled already, because I came from a losing season at Detroit, even though I was scoring. It was at a losing season. It was like, in order for him to be effective, he needs to be in a losing team, and I just didn't really want that stigma to follow me. Plus, then after that, I had the injury, and I was like, man, I can't even show the opportunity that I can. And then if I transfer, because I wanted to go with, like, obviously DeVries left, and I hadn't built that relationship with DeVries. I built it outside of it with one of the general managers, and so he left as well. So I was like, man, I'm kind of left for dry here. I don't want to transfer again, because it looks poorly on players every time. Oh, I just transfer here for a year. Oh, he's just here for the NIL. And I just didn't want to feel like a leech to the system. So I was like, well, it's best if I go home, because I think my time's done with basketball. But, glory to God, and SP and Coach Gates, they said, you can have a role here. So I was like, look, let me give it one more round, everything I've got. And so that's what I'm trying to do now.
What made you believe in and have the faith that Missouri is the right place for you?
I mean, well, you never really know. You just got to do it. I mean, that's where faith works, is like, it's evidence of things not seen, so you can't see it until you go through it. And so I just try to put my best foot forward. Even now, sometimes I have days where I'm like, man, I struggle, but I'm grateful to be playing, because I could have been out for even longer. I could have not played again, because obviously the concussion I endured with that as well, with the spinal injury that I had as well. So I'm just grateful to be playing. Right? It's fun.
You mentioned that you hadn't touched a basketball for about 6 to 8 months.
Yeah.
What was it like finally getting back?
I mean, it was good. I kind of milked the process, because I kind of said all the things like, screw basketball, I'm getting hurt and woe is me, all that mentality. I like my little break, and I was starting to get a bit indolent, which means like I'm starting to just do my own thing and watch movies and become a bit idle. And I was like, you're over here in America, you've got nothing else but your family, your girlfriend, different things like that. Everybody's back home in Australia, so you've got to, are you going to fight to come back, to give yourself an opportunity to be ready if it comes? And then if it doesn't come, then I can settle with the fact that I was, ready. But if I just sit here and just waddle in my own pity, it's going to be hard to swallow going back home and be like, what could have been, So I put myself, always started, working out with the staff and everything, and came back. So, yeah.
How much of that rallying back did you find the strength from within versus how much of it came from a support circle of people around?
Well, obviously, I was living with my girlfriend at the time, so she knows a little bit about basketball, but it's like, I just took my mind completely away from basketball. It was just like, let's get your mental right. Now, it was a bit, obviously I was having to, be with the team and everything like that, but I needed to get my mental right. You've got to want to love the game, because otherwise it's going to be very difficult. You know how college basketball is. It's training all the time, it's recovery, it's games, it's going to be ups and downs. So it's like, you're not even going to be at a capacity to play unless you're at your best mental health. I mean, otherwise it's unselfish. I want to go home, or I want to go back to Australia. I cannot have that mindset. So I thought, let me go into it loving the game, loving it again, wanting to come back. So I'm just grateful. Every day has been a blessing. Really, and he's given me an opportunity to play and shoot, and do things, and yeah, I'm really grateful, really blessed.
How important is it for athletes to make sure their mental health is good?
I mean, that's probably one of the most important things. I mean, for me as a player, I probably shouldn't say this, but like, it doesn't matter about like all the stuff we've got going. I mean, I get it. Putting the ball in the hoop is the most important thing. But you've got to develop your character. You've got to develop. I always have to make sure my spiritual's right, my mental's right. Otherwise you're just going to fall into a hole. I mean, as a freshman, I was way behind all these guys. I was thinking, I just want to go home, or I just want to go back to my, my family. And so I was just, it was all me, the common denominator. And so I just wanted to make sure I was right.
Do you feel like you've got to a point where you've reached that peace and happiness again?
Yeah. The peace is there, the joy is there, and then just not thinking about like, look, a miss, just because I miss on the court or something like that. Like, you can control your effort, your intensity, your work. And if the ball doesn't go through the hoop, you can live with the fact that you've put in the effort to make yourself successful, building up other teammates, wanting their success more than your own. That's one thing as well this year. I just completely like wanting the best for Baz, and wanting the best for Mark, wanting the best for Luke, A-Ro to do really well his freshman, just pulling for others as well. So, yeah.
And what are some of the goals you have going into this season now?
A lot of questions, man. Gee whiz. What are some of the goals that I have? I feel like this team can actually do really something special, and then also being a part of it, like really like a part of it on the offensive and defensive end. I feel like I didn't really get the chance to show that at West Virginia, and then at Detroit we were losing, and we kind of knew we were losing going into the game. But it was like, I just want to really show I can be a part of a good team and be a really good player. That's a real goal of mine. And then obviously with the team, I just want the team to do really well. And if that means you sacrifice a little bit of this, or you do this, I mean, it doesn't feel like a sacrifice at all when we're moving the ball around, we're doing really well. But I just want us to go really far. I feel like we can. We've got a really good team. So yeah.
Jayden, you mentioned maybe understanding you were going to just have to go back to Australia. What would you have done back there? Like, what is life like if you had just gone back to Australia?
I don't even know. Probably, I don't know. I would have got. I kind of planned it out. I would have gone back home and just taken a little break, like just completely step away from. I don't know whether it would have been basketball or not, but I got a lot of good people there. Got every support system I need. Got my uncles, my aunts, mum, dad. I would have been around as many good people as I had that had, because when I moved to America, no one was speaking positive or speaking life into me. Like physically, there was no hugs. And I came from that. I came from my family going around the dinner table. How are you doing today? How are you doing, Jayden? Grandma, what did you do today? Oh, how do you feel about this? Always reciprocating, giving, of talk. And in America, it was just like, do it on your own. I ain't got time for that, And I was lost. When I first came over here, I was just a deer in headlights. I didn't know what was going on. It was a real scary time. So I've developed a lot of bad habits, wanting to isolate myself. And so if I would have gone back home, would have just been around family, getting back those positive, a love for life again. Because I was just like, man, I'm over it. I'm only here as a basketball player. I mean, if I really think about it, but mindset start to change. Realize be the best person you can be as well. Be the best, boyfriend you can be the best, son you can be the best, leader you can be, brother you can be to your teammates. Represent yourself and represent your school. Don't make it about you, and so that's what I'm trying to do. So, yeah.
If that's how your basketball career had ended, do you think you'd have been at peace with it, or would there have been a little bit of
I don't
what
know,
if?
it's hard, It's difficult. I can't even take what you're saying was just so real because I really didn't think I was going to play.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't think I was. I still struggle with thinking I'm good. Like a little bit of imposter syndrome. Like sometimes I've really got to get away from the fact that sometimes I don't deserve to be out here. Like I'm not good enough to be with these guys. Like, even when I was at Detroit, I was like, I don't know how I'm scoring 20 points a game. I'm fluking it, But I don't know what I would have done. I think I would have been at peace because the journey was so much bigger than basketball. There was life going on. There was struggle going on. There was times where I was, struggling with so much stuff. I had the weight of the world on my shoulders. Doing that all independently, really by yourself every day, morning, noon, and night. Talking to yourself a little bit, encouraging yourself. Jayden, you can do this. It's okay. Coming after a game, no one's in the stands for you, But then you put, hey, just it was a tough pill to swallow. So, but it all developed my manhood, the character that I have. I feel like very strong. I think even when I go into the workforce outside, because I don't know after this year whether I'm going to get an opportunity or not. But if I do, great. But if I don't, I know that the character that I built will last me. In the interview process, in the maintenance of my mental ability and my fortitude. So yeah, it should put me in good stead.